Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice is an actual play TTRPG podcast exploring a vast universe of our own design. With the infinite expanse of adventures awaiting us comes a litany of possible dirty, dark, or deranged scenes. Content warnings can be found in the episode descriptions. So when we last left off, you folks had gone through your weeks, everyone had done their things, and Cola was Gabe actually was sort of pitching that Cola would gather the crew and break into Rake's apartment to surprise him and confront him with some of their knowledge, because he still doesn't trust Marjorie, so Rake is going to be his approach, it seems.
And I don't trust Rake.
And you don't trust Rake.
Slippy doesn't trust Rake. But I haven't been summoned by Cola yet, so I'm going to wait to be summoned by Cola. Slippy's at the house with his hairs in.
Yeah, we're probably, I think when all this kind of concludes, we're the night before Cookie's funeral. So Cookie's funeral is tomorrow. You know, just in case it is anything for break into Rake's apartment plan, you know that it'll be a normal funeral. There will be
trauma rules.
There is a pit where the bodies go that get pretty fast churned into like compost for the rest of the food in O2. So the funerals are generally held in that area, so they drop the body off into the pit. There will be eulogies, and then there will be a post-funeral sort of cocktail party where people just sort of gather and have drinks and such as a plan for the overall funeral, in case, you know, again, that comes into breaking into Rake's apartment. But again, night before, how do we want to approach this situation? I think Cola, how do we want to approach this situation? Because the other three are just going through their station time, imagining that they're going to Cookie's funeral tomorrow.
Did Cola speak with any of them prior to, like, hey, we're going to meet back up and do this thing? Or was that just my thought?
No, I like, as our weeks went, they literally did their week on the station, and your quote-unquote week on the station was getting the investigation down. BBW was with you for a lot of that and for you gathering these thoughts, but I think that was literally Gabe saying, this is my plan for next time, is what it sounded like to me in the recording.
Then Cola is just going to show up outside their domicile again.
Yeah, we'll say it's like 8 p.m. the night before.
Knock, knock, it's Cola time.
No one's home.
No one's home.
Slippy pokes his head out from the bathroom that is connected to his room so that he can shout into the hallway. And Slippy's got his hair. He has one hair in a curler. And he leans out and he says, "Hey, is somebody knocking on the door?"
No.
Knock, knock, it's Cola time.
I'll open the door.
Greetings, Deputy Carl. We have urgent business.
You mean it?
Who's at the door?
Yes.
I'm glad to hear it. It's gosh, you know, I have no idea what your title is. It's Hi Cola.
Oh, does he have his pants
I know I'm
on?
a deputy, and I know that you can make me a deputy. So those were the important parts of getting to know you.
I'm not coming out of his
Sergeant
pants on.
Hyatt Cola's here.
I'm Hyatt Cola, and I'm wearing pants.
Okay.
I wish I didn't have to announce this, but
I think he's safe this time.
Hi, it's me, Slippy. I'm also wearing pants. And Slippy steps out of his room.
I thought you were in the shower.
They don't make them for
Just because I have a curler in doesn't mean I have to wear pants. But I am.
I do wear pants in the shower. I don't have to, though.
The jeans get washed, and so do I.
Woo!
I'm amphibious, so it doesn't matter if my pants are wet. I'm loving it.
It keeps you hydrated.
Sometimes,
so what do you need?
Sometimes I'll wear a scuba suit and I'll fill it
Professor
with water.
Cola.
Just try a bunch of different titles.
Yeah, just different every time. And no, I will not stop if you tell me.
Then I won't. Cola doesn't mind being a professor.
This time.
Is BBW also out in the like? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, BBW said his one-liner. What's going on?
I go to the like central, like the living room table or whatever. Gather around, everybody. We have a mild amount of espionage to do.
I'm sneaky.
ESP? Is that like telekinesis? Oh, espionage.
ESPNage. No, that's something to do with the sport ball.
I'm the stealth officer. I should know these acronyms better. I need to get my manual back out.
ESPNage.
I don't.
Are you
like,
also
like,
are you also a
prepared
fan of the Aj?
Yeah, it's my favorite series. I
Name
especially love
10 Oddball players right now.
Bradley
Vince
Oz.
Vaughn.
Vince.
Can we roll a stout
Remember from
Morgan?
Oddball, a true underdog story.
Alan Cummings, the 56th.
I don't need 8 more. This is
Alan
perfect.
Cummings, what a good deep
Squinch
cut. I love that
Aj.
guy.
Ted hyphen from the
Squinch.
grocery store. All right, Cola. Now that we're here at the table,
All right,
what's
Cola.
up?
Now that we've just talked about our favorite sport for a little bit to break the ice, tell us the plan.
Espionage, you say?
And just like Vince Vaughn, we're men with missions. And tonight's mission is break into Officer Rake's apartment and ask him questions.
Pretty sure he's a captain. I'm really good at these things.
If you look at the paperwork, you'll discover that he actually is not.
Damn.
Wait, Captain
just-
Rake is not
they-
a
Wait,
captain?
Maybe it's his
Uh,
first name. I'm sure there's a good reason for why they call him that, but it's not because his rank is captain.
does he even have his pilot's license? I don't know if he should be flying this thing. That's what the captain does, right?
Is driving this thing.
Fortunately, we have a second captain.
Oh, thank God.
He told all.
Oh,
of
wait,
he was not.
are
the
they a captain? Did you check?
So there are 3
Uh,
Creation?
captains.
Wait a
Um,
minute. Isn't creation in all the doors of the station?
Creation
or is
only
it
has
just
access to the lower 46% of the
Okay.
station.
I don't know that that's true.
I don't know if that's true. I'm wondering if
And growing.
how much Aj we're gonna have to commit here, and how much we can just be like, open the
Keep this up, we're
fucking
gonna end up with
door,
Aj
please.
Mahal.
We
Taj
we do have God on our side in a way for this ship, the God of this ship, essentially.
Are we sure we like having God in charge
No,
of this ship?
absolutely not. God is a vengeful motherfucker, but we might as well use him while he's on our side.
That is an excellent point. However, the scope of this mission is sort of in the opposite direction. I'm hoping to gain one over creation, and maybe the next time that we talk, we can talk on equal footing rather than listening to a terrifying god in his flesh room.
Do you think he has feet?
I think he has so many feet, more than you
Oh.
can even possibly fathom.
I think he's got
He has
just
feet.
one, like a snail.
He's
Ugh.
also got hands though, right? He's gotta have hands. How is he
If-
gonna make it
if
fit?
creation wore pants, would he wear it?
Would you wear him like this
How
or
would
like
you-
this?
You're telling me a snail has one big foot under all that?
Yeah. The bottom part of the snail is just 1 foot.
I mean, trust the guy from the Species Bureau. He would know the biology stuff.
This is Hyatt Cola saying this.
Of course.
Awesome.
I'm hoping that we can persuade Captain, Officer, whatever, Rake. We want Rake on our side because it seems, based on the paper trail that I have discovered, it seemed to me that it was Captain Marjorie that was putting a stop to all of the official reports about the creation experiments and anything to do with that. So I don't particularly trust Captain Marjorie, but perhaps Officer Rake would be more amenable to a more forthright, actionable plan.
So are we gonna threaten him, or like what's our leverage? What do we got?
Much
We
more information than
have-
he does.
Yeah, we have information and guns, so we might as well start off friendly-ish. Because you can always threaten someone after you've been nice to them. It's a lot harder to be nice to someone after you've threatened them.
Yeah, even
I
the
don't-
niceness seems threatening after you've threatened him once.
I don't trust him
Neither do I.
canonically.
I'm just trying to figure out how
Well, then
we
you can be the one to do the
Non-canonically, we're friggin' bros, though.
I feel like I could love Captain Rake like a brother, but I don't.
if we like spent a good holiday together, but I haven't and I hate it.
And I hate him.
He usually gets home about 20 minutes from now. So if we move quick, we can be in his apartment before he even gets there.
Let me just go get my gun.
Spooky like.
Scan
And
over
before
to
we even
Captain
start
Rake
walking-
clocking out on his computer station.
He's whistling. He's had a really good day.
Normal day. He loves his job. Just fucking hanging out, vibing, man.
It's not a bad day. That makes them a little bit easier to reach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Any questions, comments, concerns?
Copyright infringements.
TM.
Add one more TM, and we're in.
TM.
The four of you gear up as much as you do on the station and head over to Rake's apartment. It's a little bit further back in the housing area of the station. Hayakawa knows the way. He's broken into this apartment before. And being back here, Hayakawa, I'll give you a +1 on breaking into the apartment again, which I think is a defy danger, wisdom, or intelligence. One of those two.
While he's doing this, I'm going to kind of mutter in the hallway. It'd be really cool if this door just opened itself or something.
Wouldn't it be cool if a benevolent being that lived on the ship would open this door for us?
Charles is going to be constantly testing the waters on what creation can just do.
You hear it lock again. You hear it unlock and relock.
Rude. Cola got a 7 on breaking into the door.
You're able to break in again. You do the same thing that you did last time, and the door opens fine. When you go to close the door, you realize that the the handle is sort of stuck, and so it'll close, but now the whole handle is very wiggly, very loose in its place. And you folks are in Rake's apartment, as Hayakawa said, about 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes now before Rake comes home.
Well, we do whatever we need to do to set up here. BBW, do you have any tools that might be handy for maybe trying to fix up this doorknob?
Is this doorknob a robot?
Is it toastable?
I could say it's somewhere broken in the mechanics. Everything in here is electronic, so why not?
Yeah, honestly,
Okay.
they're probably key cards and not physical keys at this point.
Yeah, it leads to some handle, and the handle's jiggly, but maybe that's something in the mechanisms of the door.
I see. Well, I can run an operation to try to heal it, if that will stop the jiggliness.
Why
I
not?
want to communicate with this robot, ask if it does need healing first, though, if it feels broken.
Oh, most certainly, it wasn't supposed to
Healing.
be picked in the first place. And the second time,
Healing consent.
its mechanisms couldn't take it. The first time it just sort of strained them, but the second time broke a few of them, so it could definitely use some healing.
I'm going to run my 5th level operation with some...
What operation is this? No, I was more surprised that you said 5th level operation.
It's my major mechanical repair. You heal it for 1d8 of damage.
All right, use robots. Your roll to use
What's my
robots.
door fix spell?
That is a 7. So one of the following happens after my operation runs. My machines drain a power. Operation disable machine. While I draw unwelcome attention.
I'll say that you're getting used to this high-level machinery. You haven't fine-tuned it enough since you put it into your systems, this 5th-level machinery. I'll say that specifically this healing robot gets, like, scrambled, so you just have to do work on this one.
Okay, that's fine.
But the door is fine. The handle, you get the handle back into place, and it is good to go again.
All fixed, except for me.
You folks are hiding.
Who can roll to fix BBW?
You folks are hiding in the shadows of Rake's apartment about 10 minutes later when you hear the familiar beeping of the key card sliding through the lock, and the door handle turns and opens up, and Rake moves into the dark room, closes the door behind himself. He's humming a little tune. He has a jaunt to his sort of step, and he turns on a light at the door after he throws his keys in a bowl and turns around and is startled by the four of you in his apartment. Just
He
to
doesn't
set,
see me.
doesn't see you. I was gonna say
in his desk chair.
perfect. Just to set the scene, Hayakola's in his desk chair. Where's everyone else positioned around the apartment?
I'm
So
going to
we-
be hiding too.
we
so I
flash-
can camouflage. Just Hayakawa alone in the apartment. BBW's like behind a house plant.
We flash back to Slippy activating his tools of the trade trait, and he rolled an 11, so he's good.
and he has a big rope. And so Slippy concludes his prep work by hiding, I don't know, like underneath the couch or something.
With rope?
You know, I'm an amphibian. I can kind of slide underneath interesting places. And I have some rope and I have my guns.
Carl's camouflage. BBW, where are you hiding? I'm just curious. Are you also just out next to Hyatt?
Yeah, I'm out above him on the ceiling, and I want to have my little birthday cake robots.
Okay.
And
I'll
noise maker.
Okay, then he definitely
And a
notices
disco
you.
ball is hanging down from you.
He turns around, he sees BBW in sort of party mode, and Hyatt Cola sitting in his desk chair. I imagine turning around as he turns around.
It's just a surprise party.
Surprise!
What's going on
Surprise.
here?
Rake.
BBW, Cola, what's this about?
Gonna inch my neck towards you, Hyatt Cola, and just my face is right next to yours. What are we doing here again?
Okay, Cola. Seems.
Your wonderfully intricate yarn wall was not fast enough for me, so I did a little digging.
And his eyes flit to his secret room and back to you.
His secret room. Oh, right.
Yeah, I forgot to mention
I recall
I wanted to like pull the yarn and reveal that to them before Rake got in. But there just wasn't a moment.
Mm.
And I forgot.
You had 15 whole minutes, Hyatt. I don't think there's an excuse.
Yeah, well,
We were just standing here
The problem isn't
talking
with
about
Hyatt.
sports while we waited for him to get here, and you couldn't mention.
I'm sorry. I just love sports.
Carl comes
got
out of
really
his
excited.
hiding just to
I'm
shout at
hearing
Cola, pointing at him, and then goes back into camouflage.
I went down into the uninhabited depths of the station, and I found this. He presses a button on his wrist communicator to show a big blow up picture of creation.
Whoa!
What?
BBW, you were there.
What is this? I'm
Whoa.
sorry. Where did you find this?
What is this? Doom 5?
Can I poke another button to like drop a pin on a map of the station for him? Or
Sure. You
beep up?
prepared a slideshow. Why not?
Yeah. Witness my PowerPoint skills. A
Uh,
tool from the old days.
He's like off of the landing bay. What's the that door has been shut for the past decade since the explosion.
I don't know what this thing is, but it's definitely in the electronics. If that door has been shut for the past decade, it's because that thing hasn't wanted it open.
He looks at BBW and looks back at you, and he has like this worried look on his face, and he rushes over to his little secret door, and I think it was a picture frame. He writes the picture frame in the right way, and the secret door opens. And he goes into the room and comes back out with a picture of the little blob creature, the little three-legged thing, and he's like, does that have anything to do with these guys?
Those are its hands.
I knew it.
Don't understand.
This thing stole from us. And
What did
then
it do?
opened the door.
What did it steal from you?
A really big eye.
Okay. I can keep a lookout for the really big eye, I guess.
I mean, we know where it is. The monster has it.
Okay. This is
It
a
told
lot.
us many things, but one of the things it did tell us was that we could defeat it by activating the warp drive on the station.
He points at the flesh room. He's like, this thing told you that you could defeat it by turning on the warp engine. And I'll say that when you said that to me, you sounded rather gung-ho about that plan.
I'm fairly gung-ho about the plan, and it didn't like spell that out to us. It was more that it was explaining its goals, and its goals involved implementing this eyeball that it stole from the BBW party.
Is it smart enough to have manipulated us into thinking that?
I don't know. My whole life has been a lie up to this point, so like I guess anything is possible.
This is a lot. This is a lot to take in. Just fresh out of work. I haven't even gotten into my comfy clothes yet. So
Please go ahead. Hyatt doesn't even wear pants most days.
Would it be better if you did that?
No,
Would this be easier for you?
I'm just saying it's already
You want-
been a
You want
day
me to get comfortable?
and you're
We can wait.
confronting. No. My comfy clothes are no pants. If you're comfortable with no pants.
I know that I am.
Oh, that was just a joke I like to have. That's fine though.
With who?
I guess you now. So what do you
It's an inside joke with us now.
It's an inside
my
joke.
house.
With who? You now. So you're it's just a lot. This is a lot to take in. I don't even know what to do about all this. So
Who's in charge of the hyperdrive?
what's keeping in
I was hoping that he would be in charge of the hyperdrive, or that he could at least like
Interrogate his
bypass
ass.
the
They
regular.
We-
put an
we-
officer in charge of hyperdrive.
he's a
We
I'm a
flash
cat.
back to Slippy midway underneath, crawling underneath the couch. He's about 3/4 of the way underneath the couch, and Slippy says he's like looking up from the ground up at Hyatt Cole, and he said, "Hey, we need to figure out who has control of the hyperdrive." And we are fading back to reality. Hyperdrive, hyperdrive, hyperdrive.
Oh,
Oh. One more thing. Yes.
Rake. Who is in charge of the hyperdrive?
Wild question. The hyperdrive hasn't worked for a decade since the explosion as well. Wonder if
Did
all
the
these
computers
things are
tell you that?
Well, yeah, the hyperdrives don't
The
work.
computers are lies, Rake.
No, I mean going
There's a
down
flesh
there.
monster feeding us lies.
I am starting to understand that. Marjorie told us she went in with the technicians and did the precursory investigation on the hyperdrive, and she said that while the station had the power level that it had, the hyperdrive would be broken, and once we got that fixed, we could begin repairs. But I don't know, it just happened. The repairs haven't begun quite yet. I'd imagine that they'll be on soon. It's a little early, but you folks will be headed out on a mission next once that hyperdrive is fixed and we can assure the station can move. That would be the next goal. Well, he says you folks. I guess he's talking to BBW when he says that at the moment.
Rake, would your key card get us access to the hyperdrive bay?
Fortunately, it wouldn't. And all that area has been locked down by Marjorie since the initial investigation. Give me a parlay roll on that to see if he has more to give you.
8.
He says, I might be able to get you past the security on that door, but I can't do that as long as I don't have any reason to distrust Marjorie.
I'm really close to crawling out from underneath the couch.
I was gonna say you should.
Fucking everyone
would
comes
I
out at
be-
once.
I could just shoot him from here. Do you want me to do that?
If you shoot him,
Good
I'll
back
shoot him
pocket
too.
option.
No.
Oh goodness.
Do we want to force him to go to creation?
Solidarity.
I mean,
All right, bet.
we've got a rope.
Prepared.
Don't you
Cheeseburger.
have an entire station's worth of reasons not to trust Captain Marjorie? She lied to us
46% of the station.
about the reasons that the station has gone offline. She prevented communique from being sent to my agency about the experiments that were being done here. She has obfuscated all involvement in this project, the
It's-
results of which are just becoming clear to us now that we are trying to clean up her mess.
It's definitely worth approaching her that why she would have kept this from reaching the home office, but I look at this very differently. If at any other point during any other station out there, the station had lost 40% of its power all at once, I mean you can't point to another station that has survived a cataclysmic event such as this. And under her leadership, we were able to survive and flourish during this time. And not only that, but it seems as if her leadership has led us to fixing the problem. While she herself, of course, did not do the research, a captain rarely does, but it was definitely done under her order and guise. She got the station back up and running. I look at this very differently than you, it seems.
Yes, it would seem that you do. To my eyes, it would seem, based on the whole situation with the flesh monster controlling more of the station than we seem to, that it would be impossible to keep this station running without cooperation with the flesh monster, a fact that has gone both unannounced and unexplained. Do you think that we are not due an explanation?
That's why I'm saying it's worth a confrontation. It's worth. I've trusted her with my life as long as I can remember. That's why it's worth confronting about it. I would like to know as much as you would about whatever this thing is.
All right, let's all go break into Marjorie's house now.
It looks like another surprise party.
I guess so. Let's.
We need to practice honesty, Marjorie.
I mean, if you would like to talk to her, she spends most nights in her office.
Is she there right now?
She was there when I left about 20 minutes ago. Like I said, she spends most nights at work at her desk. Some mornings I come in, she's asleep on the keyboard. Led to a couple wild reports, but for the most part.
Captain, what did you mean by www?
Why are you key smashing? Are you a bottom?
Can I get cluster in? Can I radio cluster?
Sure.
Cluster comes in through the front door right now.
What's up, boss?
Cluster, can you give me the location of Captain Marjorie?
Yeah, boss. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, she's just sitting at her desk working on. I can't really see what she's working on from this angle, but she's plugging away. I'd say that I haven't really seen her move all day. She ate lunch, but she'd been here all day.
All right. Thank you very much, Cluster. I guess, do we want to go confront her in her office?
Sure.
It seems kind of suspicious. Does she never leave her office?
That's what it sounds like.
Spends most nights in her office, you said.
That's not healthy.
No, but she's working hard to keep our station going without 40% of the power. And there's so much work to be done now that the power is back to get the technician crews ready to go down and repair the engine. It's a lot of work to run a station.
Yeah, which is why communication is important. Carl is straight
Barely.
up standing in the corner behind him at this point.
Did
Like,
Carl say
was
that?
in the corner behind the door. Yeah. Carl was in the corner behind the door hiding. Carl has at this point stood up and is
He
like
says-
standing behind him.
He says, that is a fair point. Hold on, what the fuck? Carl, what are you doing here?
Well, I mean, BBW's here, and I don't let BBW go anywhere where I can't shoot anybody that threatens him.
We're only missing Slippy
Slippy.
from this party.
This is true.
Slippy puts his gun away and then he slides out from underneath the couch.
There's a huge shaking
and
on the couch as he puts his gun away.
and he holds the rope behind his back and he stands up and he says,
Oh, Christ.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Captain Rake, if that is your real name.
Yes, Rake is my
I don't
real name.
trust you.
Kate, can I tell you, Captain is no one's real name.
But I need
What?
you to know something.
Mr.
I need to know something
America
right
lied.
Mr.
I knew that was suspicious.
lied. His real name is like Ted or some shit.
Listen, Edward, Captain Edward.
Rake is the. What are we talking about? Tedward is my real
you-
name, but I go by Teddy
Edward.
Do you trust Marjorie? Yeah.
with my life.
Okay. Do you trust us when we say that there is a flesh monster at the bottom 46% of the ship?
I won't say with my life because that seems scarier, but I see the evidence here.
So you don't need to go for you to believe us.
Go where? To
See the
Marjorie.
To the flesh monster.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have access to that. We might not have. We
No,
might
we
not.
could bring
Gosh
you-
darn it! Have access to the flippin' hyperdrive, but we have access to the flesh monster.
I mean, I want to see what Marjorie has to say about this before I'm gonna go
You
poking
don't want to
her.
walk.
Do you
straight
think
into
I
a
can
flesh
deal with that?
monster?
He points at a room. He's like, he tries to reach out. He's like, I can't even touch both walls at the same time in my own apartment. What am I supposed to do with this thing?
Okay.
Blasted out of the
Well, I just need to know one
goddamn
more thing. I just need to know one more thing.
What?
Are you hiding anything?
He looks at his now open secret room. No,
No.
not anymore.
Are you hiding anything else?
No.
What is that? What am I trying to roll here? I'm trying to determine if he is.
Discern realities, or if you don't want to question, because that, like, I feel like questions could give you that answer. Or if you don't want to question, you can
Defy
just do a
danger.
defy danger.
Charisma for kind of an insight.
I like charisma, yeah, because this is all speech related.
Okay. I got a total of 11.
On.
The one where I don't have to ask a question.
Defy danger. No, with that, no. This man is like taken aback. In fact, he's like in shock a little
He's
bit
just
with
an officer.
fucking everything you guys have presented to him. The picture was a lot. Knowing that it's connected to these things and that something this big is in the station is a lot. He does, in fact, trust Marjorie. He is fervent in that he is like, before he is willing to act, he needs her either approval or proof of betrayal, basically.
Yeah, like she may be a
Because
liar,
he
but I
needs to
believe she's
understand.
doing it for the best.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Positive lies exist, and Rake knows this. And he's hoping that this is one of those.
I just needed to know that we're serious. I think he can tell now.
He can tell. He can tell. I also, really quick, need everybody to roll a d20. And that's it. Just that.
Whoa.
I'm trying to get
what?
your rewards together for this mission. I didn't. A d20.
8.
3.
I got a big 4 over here.
11. Do I get rewards? I wasn't on this.
No, sorry. You're right.
The corpse of Cookie, those get passed on to the crew.
No, why would a reward show up for Cookie?
What was Cookie's will? Who gets Cookie's pension?
Chutch?
Dibs. No, I called dibs.
Well, I
I
said
called
dibs, so who gets Chutch's pension?
I called dibs. I will look those up. I just wanted to be prepared. So are we leaving Rake in his apartment to go confront Marjorie? Actually, Rake seems, he's like, let's go ask Marjorie about it right now.
He has to come with us.
She'll prove
Slippy
to
is
you
like
that she
walking directly behind him.
she'll show you. There's nothing to worry about. She doesn't know anything about this guy.
I hope so. Let's get one thing clear, Mr. Rake. If she is against wanting to use the hyperdrive ASAP, that's a problem. If she's against
Why is that?
letting us inspect the hyperdrive, that's a problem.
Okay.
Because both of those things would point to her being in cahoots with the room of flesh.
Let's go hear what Marjorie has to say. You folks enter into the bridge. It is pretty late here. There are a few technicians at their workstations going over, but I mean, this place is staffed 24/7. However, here, as the evening, the late night begins to approach, there is really only 1 or 2 technicians at their stations going over the various screens and security feeds. You can see Marjorie in her glass-walled office off to the left as you enter. And you walk over. She is, her desk, big wide desk covered in forms and files and paperwork, and she's typing furiously on her computer with 3 screens up in front of her. And as you approach the office, she looks over and she says, Hyatt and crew, BBW, Carl, Slippy, good to see you. What can I do for you folks today? And she goes back to typing on her computer.
I enter with purpose and I discern realities on her.
Okay.
Discern realities.
That's wisdom, correct?
Yes, discern realities
Yes,
is wisdom,
okay.
yeah.
Then a 9.
Ask one question.
While I pull that up, my investigative eyes question is, what do you not want me to know?
When you enter, she's on the computer, and without like missing a beat, she's like moving forms around on her desk, and she covers up a form that you see before she covers it up, and it is a request from the technicians to begin working on the warp drive. It's in her big pile of like undone paperwork, but she actively covered it up as if she's maybe not working on it right now or choosing to not fill it out. It's there. She knows about it and hasn't done anything to approve the technician's
She knows
work.
that we want it done.
She
Oh,
does not.
If she hid it from us.
Not yet.
Oh, yes. I mean, yeah, she should. Yeah. Does she ask you one question in this?
No.
example?
Not if I've already done it. It's just I get to ask another question from the list if I've answered truthfully and I've used it on her before.
Okay. Gotcha.
Who's really in control here?
She is. She seems fully in control. Yeah. You don't see any other like signs of creation. I imagine that you might be looking for proof that creation is like present here. You don't see anything that would give you that sense, even now that you've seen him, there's nothing sticking out that's like, oh, that before I should have known, but I didn't.
Creation may have 47% of the ship, but Captain
40.
Marjorie has 53, and that's the fucking majority.
Yeah.
She's in charge here.
She seems in charge.
Captain Marjorie, my investigation has taken an unexpected turn.
What can you tell me?
We have been tracing the past observances and locations of the former Agent Pevins.
Okay.
And while most of his pathing tracks with the way that he was behaving in his final days, we did note one discrepancy that I would like to investigate before I can call this case completely closed. He took 2 separate trips to the warp bay for reasons currently unknown. I would like to head down there and take a look myself before I can call this case closed. These crewmates have become swept up in the investigation, and I felt duty bound to let them see it to its point of conclusion.
It's interesting. The doors down there haven't been opened in quite a number of years. The last technician's investigation, I believe they told me that things down there were unstable and rather dangerous, and until we could do anything about it, that area should be sealed. And there's been no indications that door has become unsealed. Whoever gave you that info might be throwing you for a loop, Agent Cola.
No, Captain, I assure you that my information is 100% correct.
Slippy's like almost in the very back. He's behind pretty much everybody. And Slippy from the back says, "PU, something stinks in here. Did somebody fart? Or is it something else?"
What are you saying, Tombleson?
Everyone turns and looks at Slippy.
Yes, Tombleson?
Yep. Something stinks in here is what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Back to you,
Fart?
Cola. Sorry, I'm not a very good detective.
I don't know. I guess the technicians haven't gotten to me yet, but since the late Cookie's work has been completed, I'm sure there'll be a form coming through any day now to get that taken care of, and the technician crew
Am I
will go...
able to like whip out the form that she's clearly lying about right now?
Defy danger, dexterity. You're doing it fast. Or you can
it's
give me
fine.
a defy danger, charisma, or a
fingers.
parlay. Probably a parlay to just, pull it out of her. But if you just want to like slip your hand in there, yeah, dexterity.
Yeah, dexterity's not my strong suit. All right, we're gonna try and talk our way through it then.
Once that form comes through and the technicians tell me that they're ready, we'll be sending a crew down.
Do you mean the unsigned form from the technicians that you were clearly attempting to hide as I entered this room?
I don't know. She looks around on her desk, obviously not ever moving the form she needs to move. I don't know what there's obviously a lot going on in this desk. If you're telling me that they sent me the form, maybe it is on here somewhere. I need to do a good cleaning and get to the bottom of what's on here, but...
Would you like me to produce it for you? It's right there. I watched you hide it.
She pulls it out. She's like, "Oh, I mean, I guess, yeah, it looks like they did put it on the desk." I don't. Are you okay, Tombleson?
I've never been a deputy before. It's just I see a lot of cop movies,
Sorry, he's still learning the good cop, bad cop thing.
Okay.
Yeah, first time deputy, it happens.
Well,
wait, it's good cop, bad cop? I thought it was good cop that smells shit.
And that's the one I can tell you're portraying. But
No, he was being the good cop.
Oh no.
Yeah, he kept trying to cue the rest of us to be the cop that smells shit, but
Okay, well this was fun.
Anyways, back to my
It didn't work out because I can't smell.
They must have put it here today. I don't know what to tell you. Obviously it's going to be approved and the crews will get to work probably by tomorrow, although we have huge funeral for Cookie tomorrow. Maybe the technicians that I don't know what they'll do, but I'll approve it. I mean, is that all that this is about? Or
No, as I have already
Detective
stated.
Cola, what does the post date say on that form? Does it say
An
today or does it
excellent
say several
question,
days
Deputy
ago?
Tombleson. When was this request submitted?
It doesn't smell like shit in here, but it might.
Oh, it looks like yesterday, but I'm busy here at work all the time. What are we supposed to? I don't know. Yesterday, but easy to stamp the old approval on it and get it moving. Is that what you're here for? Would you like to deliver it yourself?
I mean, I would like to see you stamp that form. Yeah. But that's not why I was originally here. As I've stated, I was originally here asking to visit the warp bay and examine it with my own two eyes. Since it is safe to be worked on, it should be safe to be looked at. Correct?
I mean, BBW might be on the crew. It just requires a good crew of technicians to get down there. Things are dangerous, and if you're not familiar with the craft, you might be in more danger than most.
I'm familiar enough.
I am sure that you are, Agent Cola, but there are processes that we have to go through, and the engine will be up and running in a couple weeks. She stamps the file. If you would like to deliver this form yourself, I can tell you that Agent Pevins did not indeed go to the warp engine from wherever that piece of info came from. It is a true falsehood. She flips around one of her security cameras and clicks a couple buttons, and she says, "There's been nothing on the security feed about the doors opening since Pevins has been on the ship, or even for a long time before."
Our report stated that he was using the ventilation system. Out of fiction, do I need anything from Marjorie to go down there and look at it myself?
I think it's something that I mean, if Rake can't access it, if only one person in the station has access to it, that the access for yourself without that would be difficult, but not insurmountable.
Is now the time to be the bad cop?
I don't know.
Doesn't seem
You
like
got
good cop quite worked.
4 other cops with you. Deputies, I should say.
Hey other deputies.
Well, we already know which one I am.
He's the cop that smells
you're
shit.
You're the cop that smells shit. The least useful cop.
I still
Does
don't
anyone
get
else
this
want to
bit.
take a crack at good cop before I try bad cop?
Marjorie,
Yes?
I'd really like him not to make me shoot you.
I'm sure that is the worst way forward for all of us, indeed. For everyone. I'm sure that's the worst way
Genuinely,
forward.
I think you're really cool. So like,
Yeah, me too.
Will, given the opportunity to be good cop, I just want to say straight out, I would like this not to escalate into a bad cop situation.
If bad cop revolves
the cop that
pulling
doesn't
out
want to shoot you.
guns,
That's the best cop. That's the good cop.
I would maybe rethink your approach to this conversation, Deputy Carl. I appreciate a good cop, bad cop approach. I just don't know that you're in the place, standing in the place to be making promises such as these. Give me a defy danger charisma, Carl.
11.
You get the sense that this is entirely light ribbing. This is like as if she's taken what you said as an entire joke and has ribbed back. But you definitely feel that. You feel that. This isn't like a oopsie.
Gotcha.
Like sort of like the way she responded to Cookie's eggs, right? Where when she saw Cookie's eggs, she was like, "And I am in control of the situation."
Not threatened, but not offended.
Yes. If you're up here for the warp drive, we'll have it up and going very soon, and the station will be back on its course as it should have been. I should have done my due diligence and reported this to the Home Office, but I thought that this was something we could handle. It might have taken us quite a bit longer to handle, but I thought it was something we could handle on our own.
Ma'am, with all due respect, it smells like shit here. B, are you gonna make us follow the same path that Pevins did? Because I mean, the trail hasn't been followed to completion, and so we're gonna have to crawl. Man, it smells like shit in the ventilation shafts, but we're gonna have to go there unless you give us the access. We just need to be there for a minute, please.
I think that you folks have already done enough following of the path that Pevins has laid. She spins a second one of the monitors around to a shot on Pevins. Not you shooting Pevins, but a picture taken in post
a before and after
of Pevins. Yeah. No, just the after of the cleanup crew. They took pictures of the situation, and she says, "I believe that this is your work, no, Slippy, or Carl BBW?
No, I
It's
don't
one
have
of
any
your
idea
work,
what-
I'd imagine. I don't know
But that the dead body of Pevins doesn't tell us why he went to the warp drive twice.
No, but my security logs tell you that he didn't, in fact, go to the warp drive.
They make me crawl through the ventilation shaft. I can't believe you're making me do this.
What, from me as the GM, you just want her to open the door for you to go down there?
Yeah, because it's easier.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were all, I knew what you wanted.
Yeah,
the
Slippy is just
conversation.
literally complaining at this point.
Okay.
He just wants it to be easier, but he's just gonna have to go do some rolls and stuff. He's gonna have to go roll some d6s, I think. Slippy turns to Mr. Rake and Slippy says, "Well, Mr. Rake, you've been awfully silent.
Oh, fuck, I forgot Mr.
What do you think about this situation? Maybe suspiciously silent, I might say. Like you were trying to be forgotten? Something
Marjorie.
smells like shit in here."
They've made some pretty good points. The warp drive has been fixed for a few weeks now, and I figured you would jump on that right away, right? Like, our whole job out here is just expanding the colonies, and we haven't done our job in a very, very long time. No, Rake, I understand. There's a lot going on with losing 40% of the station for this long that we have to get things back in place. I thought you understood me. I do. I just... Look, show her the thing that you showed me. Cola.
All right.
Cola, show her.
We had this discussion,
I've
Officer
been
Rake, about like keeping cards off the table, and
I mean,
I'd
at
just
this
like
point-
you to know that you're the worst cop. I like you as a person and as an officer, but you're the worst cop.
Would you? Where was your line of where was your guys' line of questioning going? Did it seem like it was going anywhere? I want to get things out. We said we were gonna come and confront her about the problems, and it doesn't seem
And
like we
she
are
showed
going
us
down.
during the conversation that we can't trust her
I-
because she's already hidden things from us actively during the conversation.
I do trust her. I do trust you, Marjorie. Don't. I think that all of this can be explained. I think that if the cards are out on the table, that we might be able to get some actual information.
And that's why we tried to give her the chance to put those cards on the table, and she refused over and over and over. We gave her every chance to be honest with us before we told her that we already know, and she refused because she doesn't trust us and she doesn't trust you.
Hey guys,
maybe
we have
she
this
should.
conversation outside of the office for a second.
No, I
Slippy
want
kind
to have it in
grabs
front of
those.
her. I want her to see this, and I want her to know
Slippy
the
shrugs.
emotional impact she's having on this poor guy. Because he's nice, and she's not being nice to him.
I am just doing what is best for the people of this station. I've kept us alive throughout this time, and I plan on keeping us alive further. I'm all for getting the warp drive up and going and distancing ourselves more and more from the capital. More and more. I love this.
Captain Taylor. I couldn't care less.
Every time
about
you say
your
that,
feelings.
I question if that is, in fact, my last name. I think it's Vernon, but I don't fully remember.
I thought it was Marjorie Taylor.
And now that I've said Vernon, I'm pretty certain, she looks down, that is in fact what it says on my name plaque down here. Marjorie Vernon.
Marjorie
Captain.
Vernon Taylor.
Oh, fuck, it is hyphenated. Okay, I see where you're coming from. That's an old one. She tosses that one and puts a new one where it just says Marjorie Vernon. That was from my last marriage. I understand how that would be confusing.
At some point, we'll figure out who it was whose name was Taylor, and then that's in fiction. Captain Vernon, let me make myself abundantly clear. I will be going through those doors tonight. And this is your chance to cooperate with that effort. Now, in that interest, what can you tell me about this? And I show her the picture of creation and also the picture of the little Goombas.
Kumbaya, my
And trust me, it smells like shit in there.
Then
It actually doesn't, which you'd think it might, because it's a lot of flesh, as you can see.
it seems like this has gone past me stopping it. And she reaches down and pulls out a card and hands it across the desk to you, Hayakola.
See, this is why communication's so important, Captain. And we're just trying to
Now,
make
if
sure
you
everyone's
would,
not being turned into a flesh wall.
for my investigation and for the sanity of your junior officer, please explain yourself.
Rake, just know that this is all to protect you and the people here. I've only done what I think is best for all of us, but the event on the station a decade ago has shown me many things, and I think that it is only best that we permanently distance ourselves from the capital cities and home offices of the back Atmos star systems. We need to get off of their net, off of their radar, and out of here. They have their hands in far too many pots. If you've already met creation, then you are already well aware of what it can show you. I am aware of creation's existence here on the station, but its plans are maybe for it to tell you. I can get you beyond this door, but I can't promise that that's going to get you access all the way to the warp drive.
Why were you
They
trying
give
to
us
prevent it?
access. Are
Were
you
you just trying
scared?
to prevent it to keep people from finding out about creation?
How much do you know about its plans?
Enough. I have been talking in and out with it amongst over the years and coming
the Pharaoh's
to
Eye.
conclusions. That easy piece it needed for its puzzle. I believe that it can break down pieces of it for its longevity, I guess. It explained that it had something to do with the warp engine and keeping it intact post-usage. The biggest reason I've kept it locked down there. I can give you access through the door, Slippy. In fact, I've just handed the card to Agent Cola, but just because I give you that access doesn't mean that creation is going to let you through. I'm sure you know that
But
it
what
has
did
its...
you have to gain? Why are you helping it?
It seems to be on our side. It seems to be against, at least, the back Atmos capital city, and has shown me enough to say that to show me that I should be as well. I have seen dark things that they have done, and I want no more of it. I'm not going to be a part of pulling more and more cultures into this bubble of toxicity. Creation offers an out for me and the people on this station, the people that I love and work with on a day-to-day.
To my eyes, creation offers an out only for itself.
And those
The
people should get to
activation-
choose, goddammit.
Everyone benefits
The
in a
activation of
symbiotic
the warp drive
relationship.
may have meant the end of creation, but it would not have meant the end of the folks on the station. It would have just accomplished your stated goal of getting away from the capital
Why-
city.
Yeah, but
Prior
there's no
to
reason to kill everyone or to kill it if you don't have to. You can work together.
prior to Cookie actually completing her work and providing us with the rest of the power we needed, the warp drive simply wouldn't have worked before. Now, I've had a number of years to come to these realizations. This is not since Cookie's work. Cookie's work through us made us rather scared for quite some time, but we worked our way around it and forward.
Funny that Cookie's last accomplishment was to both fix the thing that can kill creation and give creation the thing that can save it.
We didn't even need to do the side mission.
It might have been simpler if we hadn't.
You
Says
could have
Cookie.
Come
never
on,
been
Cola.
born,
If
Cola.
we hadn't gotten that side mission, then you wouldn't be part of the crew.
We would never know about creation.
We only had so many cabins available.
Honestly, at this point, I'm gonna just sort of say, well, good luck with all of this, not Captain Rake, and I think the rest of us have a date with the warp drive.
Good luck.
Don't do anything crazy while we're there.
Okay.
Lead the way, Commander Cola.
Agent.
Guy with key.
I understand why you've made the choices you've made.
And yet.
I don't. It smells like shit in here.
The way you've gone about it leaves you in a less than trustworthy position. However, that's not really my issue. I'm not particularly related to this. I'm just here to
I have to
do my job, and out I go.
And as you walk out, she says, "And so do I." Captain Rake stays back in the office. He says, "I gotta have a chat with Marjorie," and you folks head towards the warp drive. Down the elevator to
God
the
damn it, Captain Rake.
bottom of the station. You folks head down.
I really
I'm
wanted to
pissed in
shoot
here.
Marjorie.
You head down the elevator to
I
the
thought about it.
bottom. There is a workshop down here and a big iron door with a sort of old rusted keypad off to the side. A little swipe pad, I guess. No one is
Swipe
down
the
here.
key.
It's old. You swipe the key and the door groans to life and opens up to a pretty long hallway. It's dark in here. The lights flicker up and come on. They haven't been turned on in seemingly years. Instantly, though, you can see the presence of creation. There are the thinnest of roots tendriling out, almost touching this door. And as you look down the hallway, they just get like thicker and thicker as they go.
Well, this is gonna get gross.
The four of you trek off down the tunnel. At first,
By
they,
the by,
would have loved to harvest some of this meat.
does anyone? Yuck.
that's yuck to Cookie.
I'm not Cookie.
That's fair.
Cola.
That's yuck to Cola. Okay.
Does anyone have like a flamethrower? Or I know this is a little late to ask this, but
Door shutting
Uh,
behind you.
yeah, no, we're already in it. But I figure I might as well ask.
No,
don't
I
know,
only
you
have
guys
this
are
big
about-
gun.
Yeah, I've got a little gun and big fists.
I have this little tiny
Have fun.
pocket thing. It doesn't do much, but I think I can throw it at people.
I have a laser.
A laser could prove useful. It sounds like we might run into some doors that can't be opened with this key card.
If they have visible hinges, I have this rifle and I can shoot it very fast.
Also good. All right. 2 ways to get through some maybe blocked doors. Hopefully there's a big button, a big green button that we can turn on
I
the
hope there's a big button that says warp drive go.
yeah.
That would be awesome.
Or
That
like
That would be ideal.
8 or less levers for me to pull.
Yeah.
All at
That'd be
once.
ideal.
Yeah, this warp drive is going to be a very active startup. It's going to require so much input from all of you, but we'll see. As you enter into the hallway and begin going down, as you do, it is pretty calm at first, and you're moving down this hallway.
Like that.
You start to hear traces of whispers echoing down the hallway, and they begin surrounding you. And it's the voice of creation. You are, I don't know, maybe 15 feet into the hallway. The walls are a little bit more fleshy than they were at the start of the hallway. And creation says through the whispers, let's see.
So Marjorie let you in, huh? What is it that you hope to accomplish down here?
I'm not sure, but Hyatt seems to be thinking genocide.
It smells like shit in here. I'm not gonna lie, creation. I just don't trust you, and we sort of want to see what like. We don't want to be past the point of no return. We sort of want a bargaining chip, basically, is what I'm getting at. I don't feel like I have any power in this situation, and I kind of want some, and this seems like the most efficient way to get some.
Why
You
is
seem
it?
like God, and like sentient creatures are not huge on
I can't
just
help but
sharing
rebel.
a space with a god. You've got to have leverage on both sides, otherwise it feels like you could just murder us whenever you feel like it, if you felt like it, and that just see. Okay, sentient creatures have this thing called anxiety.
Let's talk about
Do you know what
anxiety.
anxiety is?
You
I've
might
got
have
a lot
read
of
about it. I know you do a lot of the googling.
Um,
So
I'd like one of you to give me a parlay roll. No, defy danger, charisma, and the other to give aid. Carl, Slippy.
I've got 2 charisma. What's yours?
I've also got 2 charisma.
Go for it.
Let's
I'll aid
do
you.
a roll off really quick to see. Okay,
No.
I'll do it then. Slippy says, "It smells like shit in here," and he rolls his 2 dice.
Oh,
I got a 9.
what? Do you add anything to aiding?
Your is
Or is it the
bond.
same
Bond
Oh, I
with
have
Slippy.
one. So that's a 10 to. So I add 1 to.
Okay, yeah, so yours is a 10. You add 1 to
me
Slippy
up to a
without
10.
drawing ire, which brings Slippy up to a 10. And you folks continue
Nice.
down the hallway just fine, unimpeded. And Creation says,
In conclusion, I'm afraid of you.
So, all that requires for a actual conversation with you folks is to feel like you are on my level?
To feel that we're not powerless, because everything is an exchange of power, even a conversation.
What makes you think that you have no power in this situation?
That we're not standing next to the warp drive able to activate it.
a comparison.
It's a solid point on why we feel we need guns. Do you really need the ability to instantly take away a life to feel comfortable to be around others? And if so,
Why?
maybe seek therapy.
Yeah, let's think about why Slippy had to buy the biggest gun possible. Let's try to unpack that.
Oh
with
no,
creation
Jeremy
right now.
fucking had that coming. That's based.
Oh no, Cola needs Cola therapy. That's not a question. But we're not in session right now. Dr. Spatz hasn't made a lot of headway with Agent Cola.
But it's only been a few
but their
sessions.
next session's going to be a doozy.
As we're continuing down the hallway, Slippy's gonna reach in his bag for his tools of the trade. This one is another one with no complications. Great. It is the warp drives for dummies manual. And Slippy's gonna start flicking through that.
That fucking glare.
Okay. Change your cool item that you're getting.
Yet you can't. I've been rolling good dice.
Sure you
Yeah, but
do.
that means you don't get to level up and get those cool later skills.
You do that
Oh
and
no!
learn
I
about
have to
some
live that long.
warp drivery.
Come on, you're the only one who's never died.
I can understand fear. I myself have lived in it since my birth. If an exposed weakness is what it requires for an actual conversation, or you folks, then we can speak in the warp drive room.
That's all that we wanted.
Deal.
The rest
Just
of the
keep metros away from this guy.
The rest of the trek down the hallway is uneventful. It's quiet. It becomes more fleshy as you come down, and as you approach the door to the actual warp engine itself at the end of the hall, the flesh has completely covered it, but it pulls back the door and opens it up. In the warp engine room, it is a big donut-like room with a big pit in the center. There is a huge machine suspended above this pit, and a hole that cuts up into the ship, many holes that cut up and into the ship. And coming out of those holes are little tendrils of flesh that grow down and into the room, and this whole room, more similar to Creation's room itself, is a lot more fleshy, but you can see exposed bits of machinery here, unlike in its room. The door opens for you, you enter, and the door closes behind you. As you enter, its voice is much louder in here. In the hall, it was kind of a whisper coming from around you, but in here, it's kind of echoey. It kind of booms around the room.
What is it that you needed to be present with a weakness such as this to speak about?
I don't know, President Cola?
Your intentions, I believe, are the most pressing issue. While I understand your desire to distance yourself from the universe of the known, I've yet to see any guarantees that the inhabitants of the station will be safe once you have achieved your goals.
Does a decade of proof of safety not give you...
A decade of working
Proof
towards
of
your
that?
goal of leaving this area does not. No. It is what happens once you have achieved the goal that I find more concerning.
I didn't need anyone alive on the station to complete my goal. What purpose does keeping the four of you alive for the past number of weeks serve me?
Uh-huh.
And yet I've chosen to do just that. Cola, you are a bit of an outsider here, but I've grown to know the rest of these folks and the rest of the fine folks on this station.
Yeah, I've been on this ship long enough that I don't feel super threatened by Creation.
All I'm here to do is to protect. I have access to far more knowledge about the damage that your agency and the wider hand as a whole causes.
I have more reasons to trust him than you.
I was hoping that some of the things I showed you might bring an understanding.
I have an understanding that the agency that I formerly worked for are not who they presented themselves to be. That and trusting you are separate issues.
He's showing you
I
that
have
was all good
firsthand
faith.
witnessed the damage that an unknown entity can do left to its
Are
own
we-
devices.
Are we, the people on the ship, are we beneficial to your end goal, or are we inconsequential? What role do we have in
You-
your purposes?
But related and potentially follow-up, do you get lonely?
Beneficial indeed. I do not wish to be alone in the universe, as I'd imagine that none of you would. I could easily take the life of anyone on the station or everyone on the station and go out and do this on my own. But in doing so, I find myself alone and without purpose.
Covered in corpses, which is kind of gross.
It'll get
Like,
nasty
there's gonna be
very
food around.
fast.
Yeah.
The smell
And
is
it really
is
will
awful.
smell like
It
shit.
smells like shit. It smells like
And you
shit.
take care of your
It
skin.
would
so
smell
that
like
really
shit
not be
as you
good for
put
you.
it, Slippy. I
I have grown to care for everyone on this station over the past decade, and
I
wish to disconnect them from a life that they aren't even connected to. Why should they suffer for the decisions made of the capital city thousands of light years away from here?
Definitely with you on that one. My dad always said not to trust the government, and like this is lighting up. Like all the green flags are going off for me. So
How would you run your government creation?
I'm not here to run it. I'm just here to act as an escape pod.
Oh,
it's a problem of us seeing you as like a god, but you're just an individual who's in the walls.
are you just hanging out?
You're big, you're strong, but like you're not trying to create a new universe. You just want to exist.
Do you have any more of your truth serum?
I
Your lie
mean-
detection?
Yeah.
Assuming you
'Cause I
told the truth
mean,
last
I'm
time,
not.
of course.
I'm not gonna lie. Starting to sound okay.
Yeah,
I think the main problem is, at least to my mind, is that they are still an entity in full control of the vessel that keeps us all alive.
No,
They
100%.
can't
I
help
still
that.
want.
And they're using it so far only to help us, though. So it doesn't make me comfortable. I have no reason not to trust it.
I would also question, as just like an outside point of view, what is any different than it controlling the station versus Marjorie controlling the station? At any point, if
and
this
we
thing
know
did
we
not
can't trust
exist,
her.
Marjorie, like,
Hasn't been
what's to
honest with us at
stop,
all.
you know, Marjorie
Well,
from making the
Marjorie's
decision?
also troubling, but
Or
only
another
troubling because
captain,
she's
I mean.
concealing this.
Like,
If Marjorie did something bad, we can shoot her.
All the
But-
buttons that creation can press
We
to
don't
kill
have
people are
anyone to
buttons
shoot.
Marjorie had access to before. These are functions
just less
of the ship that
proficiently,
the
yeah,
thing's
but yeah,
using.
definitely.
So like essentially we've just had a shift in who's our captain. Captain Creation. Very
To
Marvel.
me, it felt like, especially
Okay.
in the first interaction with creation, it felt like they were trying to get away from where we are right now, but that's been their goal, and they needed pieces. They needed the Pharaoh's eye and everything to make that happen.
That's
But now that
true.
they've got all of that, they don't need us to go and get any of that for them.
In that case, why aren't we all already dead?
So you're just gonna be chilling. Like, what happens after we are able to distance ourselves outside of the reach?
What's
of
your
the
5-year
government?
plan?
What? Yeah. What happens next?
What do you like? What's
Because
your
I want
aspiration?
at this point, I'm not gonna lie
Once you
to
get
you.
away.
I hate police officers, and honestly, Cola. Now that I know that it's your former employment, I'm loving that. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to feel pretty okay about. Like, don't get me wrong. It's still hard to look, just generally in your direction, but I can
Creepy.
work on that. And honestly, it's starting to sound okay. But I need to, we can continue this co-beneficial relationship, but we just need some sort of assurances. We've not really dealt with an entity of
This caliber.
your type, width and breadth.
And the only person who has is the one who did it as a cop, and we don't want to use those instincts.
So what say you,
what
Flesh?
What assurances do you seek? I am already working to do just this. My plans would be to help us get set up once we are out of the range of contact. Doing just so is another feat of its own, but with access to full control of the warp drive, I might be able to do just that.
Where would you go given control of the warp drive?
I would prefer to not be the one to choose. There are multiple places outside of our current reach that might be habitable, but they would need to be checked up on as much as we would any planet we would attempt to pull into the ring.
Are you gonna always live on the station?
I don't currently have a way to detach myself from it.
Do you have any interest in looking into that? Is that we're looking at your dreams and aspirations, buddy? Open up.
Do you think you could be a planet?
No.
No.
Okay.
Well,
that's a good question. The
process
process of getting us outside of the reach of the back out star system is going to be trying indeed. I will do my best as much as everyone else will to get through this unscathed.
Are you cool with us introducing everyone to you one by one for however long it takes?
We do not have the time for that.
As long as it's taking to get through this conversation once, the amount
No
of people on
questions,
this
just autographs.
conversation would require more time than we have. If word has already begun getting back to the invasive species committee of my possible presence on this station, I would think that they might have some more agents coming sooner rather than later.
Last question from me. Since we're breaking away from the capital, obviously we're not going to be using our crappy assigned government name for the station. We'll have to come up with a new name for the station. Since you kind of are the station, is there do you have a suggestion to throw into the pot. Like maybe we'll ask around a little bit just to make sure everyone's cool. But like, you got any ideas on what you'd like to call your new space station planet self?
I'm fond of the
Creation
crustacean.
station.
Creation
What's your nation?
I'm fond of the crustacean.
Creation
Station. That's my favorite food. I grew up with those.
I'm sure that we could work together to come up with a name we all enjoy. We've heard lots from crew members Carl and Tombleson. What say you, Wallace and Agent Cola?
I'm here following these guys around and doing my tasks. As long as you can make a cake, I think we're good.
I do owe
If
you.
not,
Oh, you didn't want a magic
I'll show
item.
you.
You wanted a cake.
That's right.
I remember you saying that. You'll get a magic item anyway.
Can I have his magic item?
Creation Station Sovereign
It's in the
Nation.
cake.
I mean, I want a magic item, but BBW wants a cake.
Sure.
Sovereign Nation Creation Station.
Mhm.
It's no backpack decaf, but you know.
Agent Cola, you've been quieter than our previous interactions.
To my reckoning, it would seem that my particular skill set is not necessary here.
Skill set would that be?
Unfortunately, the skill set of violence and murder.
Oh hey, I'm good at that too.
Fist bump. If the rest of the crew thinks that it would be in the station's best interest to cooperate and coexist outside of the bounds of the galactic center, I'm just one dude. I don't even really. Fun fact: I'm not even really an agent anymore.
When did that change?
I mean, when I found out that they all sucked, I was mostly just using the title to get me in some doors after that. If I happen to run into another invasive species agent, then my skills for violence and murder may come in handy once more. Until then, call me retired.
Well, I
I
believe that your incredible strength might come in handy on a mission of scouting out a new domain if you have interest in helping out a new station, a new community of
A new
people.
station that continues to fulfill the missions given to it by the Galactic Center?
Certainly not.
Self
Then
from the
why are
galactic-
we going on these missions anymore?
We would go on different missions to help new people without
as
being
I-
assigned to by the government.
We have yet to explore any of the habitable locations beyond our current space. The mission,
I'd imagine the first mission would be to explore some of those habitable locations and choose just one for us to move to. Parting the curtain a little bit, it will require a bit of a rocky transfer from point A to point B in order to throw the back out of the star system from our trail.
That's what this warp drive's for, right? And like leans on the button.
i.e., we will only get a single chance at this, so knowing where we're going would be ideal. That would be mission one. Arriving there and helping the station get set up at its new location might be another mission. I don't mean that we'll be going on back at no Star System sanctioned missions. I just mean that.
Hey, guys, even though we don't work for the government anymore, do you think we're still going to get paid?
Well, we shouldn't need to.
I think
I
in
mean,
my
all the
brain, the
merchants
answer to
on
that
this
question
ship,
is no.
we'll just tell them
No,
it's
we won't.
communism and we get all the ship parts now.
Give me all the upgrades.
It's
I'm
as
gonna go scout
each
for a
as
new place
needed,
for us
and
to
we need
live.
guns.
Give me a bigger gun.
We're now your whole standing army.
And then we all jump up in the air and like freeze
Freeze
frame.
frame.
There's a picture.
Few credits.
So yeah,
The whole station ships.
outside of creation, I guess from me as the GM, what like freeze frame on this? What is the next step for you guys in this room? I guess.
Leave.
We leave.
Yeah, I guess we're not going to do the warp drive anymore.
Yeah, I'm down for
I guess
scouting
we're leaving
locations for
that-
us to flee to.
It sounds like we're going to try and find a.
I'm with the
We need to
crustacean.
find a
on this
planet
one.
with no one on it. Let's start a new planet. We're starting a new society. We're gonna do a city builder game.
I'm gonna go start my own planet with blackjack and hookers.
And meat walls.
Okay, yeah. I think that this conversation creation opens the door for you folks. And creation opens the door and Marjorie walks in and
Oh God.
she says there was much that I couldn't even begin to explain, but I do hope that creation has at least set you folks on a path of understanding.
We'll play your games for now, Marjorie.
I want Marjorie to roll charisma for whether or not she pisses me off enough to hit the button.
Damn.
Not really, that's fine.
I guess you folks go your separate ways from this warp station or this warp drive area. You just return to your separate domiciles for the evening.
Yeah, WW has some tech work to do.
Carl's
What
gonna
time is it
go
now?
drinking before going home. It seems like a day where I'd probably wanna have a few drinks and process.
It's pretty late, like midnight, I'll say, coming out of there.
It's too late. That's too late.
For what?
So Slippy goes home and goes to bed.
Okay. Carl grabs a
Calls
drink.
Carissa.
Cola.
I think Cola also needs a drink.
Hell yeah, Carl and Cola drinking late into the night.
I'll have a Carl and cola, please.
Let's hear a little bit of this conversation over drinks.
That didn't go at all like I thought it would.
No, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I did no thinking going into that because I was very gung ho about us killing this thing, and I have no idea why in retrospect.
Groupthink is a scary thing.
Yeah, gosh,
Do you think it'll work out? Just just sort of booping yourself away from all of your resources and supplies and abandoning, I guess, like galactic civilization as we currently know it. Anyone else at this bar is getting quite the earful.
Bartender's like widening eyes and cleaning a glass like, what the fuck is going on?
Are they already drunk?
Unfortunately, we have lost our leading scientist for the cause. But if you think about it, we've already created a perpetual energy source. So the station's never going to shut down, and it's controlled by a living planet. Resources were actively able to grow on the station to some extent, which we can definitely, if we're not dedicating, how much of the station is dedicated to doing stupid bullshit for the capital? Turn that shit into greenhouses and whatnot. We don't need that office where 20 guys are doing paperwork for some asshole in the city. This could be a completely self-sustaining space station, and we can be mercenaries for hire on the outskirts for people who need help and can't get help because the capital won't help them. We find a little solar system and we start brainwashing everybody in the solar system to be more accepting until we create our own.
The front Atmos star system.
We just do the same thing.
You had me in the beginning there, but then we took a turn.
But ignoring the meta joke, I feel it's accomplishable.
Do you think that there will be those living aboard the station right now who won't want to jump into uncharted space, that feel like they might not have been given a choice?
We buy them a pretty ship and we can send them back. And that's what we should do. Because since we're going to have to probably zoop around a bit to ensure that we're not being followed, we should send them back from a different location than we're landing. That way, both the trajectory is completely different. They don't know where we ended up. Boom. We put on the screens that we've already done it, and we wait for people to start freaking out about it. We handle the uprising and everything, and then we send the dissenters off after we're doing it.
Interesting.
Drunk thoughts with Carl. That way, we don't have to really worry about the panic while we're isolated and trying to get our infrastructure running.
we just panic them first, get it out of the way.
We fabricate panic.
Well, I do see the sense in that.
Hell, we could even let them all leave before we teleport. We don't even have to tell their warp, or we warp somewhere. We don't have to send them from there either. We could just pick them off and then, because they'd be in the capital still, or at least in the region, since we are now.
We just leave them here and bounce.
We kick them out the door and soup.
We can pay them for relocation because our money's worthless now anyway.
That's true.
That's true.
We can give them all of our credits because they're not valuable anymore if we leave.
Thoughts to think on as you folks finish your drinks and go about your separate ways for the evening. In the morning, you awake knowing that today is Cookie's funeral. Carl, BBW, Slippy, you actually have a package waiting for you. There's a package receipt on your door as you open it up in the morning, saying to come down to the storage or the sort of supplies office for a special package that's been delivered for the three of you. It's just like your basic UPS kind of tracking note. There's not really much on it besides there's a package for the three of you. And when you go down to check it out, there is a wooden unmarked box and it is signed over to the three of you. And when you pry open the top, there are a few things inside, each with a little label that labels it to yourselves. No other information in this box besides these and the hay that they sit upon. Carl, the one with your tag on it is a pistol. It is an interesting design. Half of it, if you are pointing it and you're looking down the barrel, half of the gun split on the right side is bronzed and the other half is silver. It looks as if they cut two guns in half and not welded them together, but it's built together perfectly, but it looks like two separate designs on either side of the gun. And there's a little bit of an instruction manual in there. And you know that this is the star-crossed gun. The little tag reads, laser pistol star-crossed modifier. It is a rare tech pistol that was built by opposed races. These two races always in conflict of some sort or kind. And some of their leading scientists and technicians came together to build a whole line of tech called the Star-Crossed Tech Line, and this takes advantage of their turmoil. And when you go to use this weapon, if you whisper as a part of the action, the user may attempt to tap into the seething hatred imbued in this weapon, insulting it. If you make an successful defy danger charisma, you get to add an extra damage dice, an extra D4 of damage dice to your shot as it fires off that bolt of hatred. So basically you just have to insult the gun before you go to shoot it. And if you succeed on that, it'll fire off an extra shot. If you don't, it will shut down for a little bit if it fails. In this box is a little, it looks like a button, like you would pin it to yourself, except it doesn't have the little paper clip pin in the back of it, the safety pin in the back of it. And it has the symbol of the physician's snake with the cross on it or whatever. And it is for BBW, and it is a tech mod for your basic systems, something you could apply to your body. Once implanted into your body, whenever you heal somebody, you get to roll a D4 along with, after you heal them, when you heal them, the amount. So you use your level 5 healing thing, you heal someone, say 8 health, they love it. Then you get to roll a D4, and if you roll the 4, it doesn't, if there were negatives on that roll for used machines, your machines are replenished.
Wow-wee.
So basically it gives you an opportunity to not worry about the damage to your machines for healing somebody. And lastly in that box is Slippy, yours is another pistol. Yours is a pistol as well, similar to Carl's, but yours is a deep purple with these crystal spines coming out of the back of it. And this is a weapon that loses its loading property. You never have to reload this weapon. It takes a day to recharge, but you can make a number of attacks equal to your dexterity modifier with this gun. So whatever that is, I think that's probably +2 for your dexterity,
That's
I'd imagine.
adorable.
But yeah, I'm for sure gonna shoot that gun.
So yeah, you can fire off a number of shots equal to your modifier. They'll all use the same, similar to Carl's. It's like a weaponed version of Carl's thing, except not up to 40.
Hey gang, I think we made the right choice.
That's it for now. That's in
But
this
that
box.
40's gonna shoot up once I get a cup. About 40 more bucks. That's what I currently need.
All right. And then Cola, you know the funeral's today. Are you heading to the? Do you go to the funeral?
Yeah, I'll be there in the back somewhere.
There's quite a number of people here on the station, maybe that Cookie interacted with here and there, maybe that loosely knew her, or maybe that are just attending because it's a loss of a community member. And there are people that Cookie impacted here. There's Shaq and Bear from her trainings. There's Weathers, old lady Weathers, actually, during her eulogy, she apparently has something prepared, and she turns on a sprinkler system that lightly peppers the grasses around where this is set up, and all of a sudden these like floral arrangements start growing out of the ground. And she says, "I've spent quite a lot of time setting this up for my dear friend Cookie, just a show of beauty to send her off." Marjorie gets up and says that Marjorie says that Cookie was a driven and passionate crew member, and the Delta will be missing a piece of it without her. And Rake has a eulogy to give Cookie. During Rake's eulogy for Cookie, he actually pulls out a piece of paper. He says, "I actually have a note to read too. Seems that some of their clients had words they'd like to also share." And he has a note from Mr. Blood. And the note from Mr. Blood says, let's see, "Cookie was one of the most creative individuals that I ever had the pleasure of working with. Never in all my time and journeys across these great star systems did I come across a mixologist such as hers. Please allow the gift included to act as a memorial to Cookie." They pull a sheet for this big object that's been on the stage, and there's a giant golden statue of Cookie built there. And he said, and the note goes on to read, "I do hope that this acts as a reminder for her great deeds of heroism." And Rake says, "And it looks like he'll also be providing the food and beverages after. So make sure that you give Mr. Blood our appreciations as a community."
Slippy leans over to Lucy, who is standing next to him, and he says, "I took a bullet for that guy. He didn't give me a statue."
You're not dead.
I could have been.
Okay, but Cookie is. I'd imagine that that's why he gave her a statue. Maybe if you ask
Yeah,
him
but
nicely,
Cookie
he'll
didn't get
send you a
shot
statue.
for him.
Hey, Lucy, are you good?
Like, good? What do you mean?
How are you dealing with this whole situation here? On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly would you handle a new wrinkle on the situation, just hypothetically?
I'd say that when we got back, it was a lot to take in, but Shaq has helped me a lot talk through some of my problems and refocus my energies in a better direction.
It's good to hear. I'm glad, Lucy.
Slippy, are you okay?
Hell no. Now let's get back to this funeral.
All right. The rest of the funeral goes, just, along those lines, and you folks find yourselves at the end of the funeral. Do you guys have anything to eulogize about Cookie?
Cookie was a bug.
A bug. Well, all three of us get up to the pulpit. Cookie was a bug.
Was a bug.
Yeah, she was a bug, Rake says from the audience.
Cookie was the best bug among us.
For she's a jolly good bug. For she.
Oh man, the rest of the funeral goes off without a hitch, I guess. And you folks find yourselves at the cocktailing post. There are
Invite me to your funeral.
the best The best hors d'oeuvres and
Totally.
beverages you've ever seen or tried. Almost the second best hors d'oeuvres and beverages you've ever tried.
Not made by Cookie.
Not made by Cookie. Are here being passed by a special wait staff hired by Mr. Blood.
Hey guys, do you think we should make a plate for our new friend?
He has plenty of hands. I guess I have more, but like, I think he can make himself a plate.
Who are you talking about?
I mean, he's got the little hand things, right?
Okay, got it. Yep, I understand. Our wall friend. Yes. I'll go get a plate for Cola. I see him back there being an antisocial weirdo.
He can also get a plate. Cola, come over here.
Yeah, but he has less hands than you.
Call him over like we're at a house party at a funeral.
Yo,
What up, Cola?
Cola.
So Cola, are you liking the funeral?
Cola.
I didn't expect to see you here, man.
This is about halfway into the open
How do you know
bar.
Cookie?
Cola's on his like fifth margarita.
As you should be at any funeral.
So Cola, are you excited to defect from the government?
No, not
That's not the
Understandable.
spirit.
not
I get it, but
Not-
that's not the spirit.
not like this.
Not at a funeral.
This doesn't feel like defection. This feels like running away.
Desertion.
Column A, little column B.
Yeah.
Gotta do one before you can do the other.
I guess.
No.
I guess so.
I mean, you could get off. We've already put that part of the plan into motion.
Yeah, we just tell everybody that we already did it. You can get on one of the ships as we shove you out before we teleport away. You're welcome to stay a bootlicker. No judgment. It sounds like judgment,
And
but
here's
that's just a
some-
term
and
that I
here's some
recently
money.
learned as a new member of the galaxy, and I'm really liking throwing it around a lot.
And here's your money, you
my
bootlicker.
my first notion was to head to your planet, Carl, and see if I can't do something about what's being done there. But yeah, bootlicker. Yep, that's me.
Well, I figured
He
once we're
finishes his,
outside of the
his
government,
next
we can just blow
margarita.
it up. Whole government.
Pragmatic.
I'm a lot less worried about a couple camps on my planet because I know that as part of a obviously government-wide conspiracy where they're secretly keeping different races in camps.
More
So I
government
say we
should
gotta tear
come
the
with
whole
a
thing down
destroy
rather
the
than
whole
get it.
government button. Yeah,
I'm gonna find it. I'm sure it's somewhere.
makes sense. Now
If
that I
only we
see
could activate the
the line of
government's warp
logic.
drive.
Yeah, can we put the government in our warp drive chamber? Can we like call them and tell, hey government, can you come just
Hey,
look at
government,
our
will you
warp
tell
drive?
us your express weakness, please?
Look at
Please
the
tell
end
us
of
your
this gun.
express weakness. Do you think that perhaps that could coincide with our other plans? Maybe another piece that we need for our new friend that isn't you. Maybe the other piece that they need to become immune to the warp drive. Maybe that is on your planet, Carl. I bet the captain would have a direct line somewhere in there. Though she did show up at the place dramatically, so it is hard to say.
Yeah, I don't trust that bitch as far as I can throw her. And I'm an octopus. I have weak little limbs. I cannot throw her.
So it sounds like we leave this episode as we fade to black. Maybe some conversations have gone quiet and everyone finds themselves looking at their drink. Maybe not BBW. He might be entertaining a few folks here and there at the party. But everyone finds themselves looking at their drinks, I think, breaking down what possibly to do next. Yeah, I think that's where we'll leave it at a note of what next as we do session end questions. Alignment. Did anyone get an alignment?
No.
I did good for the doorknob.
Oh wait, actually, I guess we
You did that
infiltrate a location.
particularly. You did that specifically to help the door and not to like hide yourself. So absolutely. I guess you guys broke in. Yeah, whatever. You did it.
Broke
Definitely.
into his
I
house.
defended
do
creation
that.
from Cola. And in that moment, I considered it weaker than me.
So do I level up because I'm at the station?
If you level up and we're at the station, yeah. So we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, you championed creation there at the end. Cola, do you have an alignment done here?
Mine is like intimidate or inspire using my agency, so no.
That'll change. That has to change. Do you feel like there's a change in your alignment?
I don't know what the other tags are, so no.
All right. I guess then it will be use your organization to inspire fear or respect. Did we learn something new or important about the universe?
Creation's alone.
I don't think we learned anything.
This one sort of
particularly new.
Yeah, it sort of felt like putting all the pieces that we already had together.
Solidifying what we already know about the
Good
universe.
effective lore threatening.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, probably not. Nothing new, just all brought together. Do we overcome a powerful enemy or monster?
Xenophobia?
Our own xenophobia?
I have full 180 on creation at this point.
Yeah,
We made some good points.
I don't know that we overcame a notable enemy or
No.
monster, but we definitely got a treasure
Yo, that's a level.
as a reward. And bonds. Did anyone get a bond?
2 of them. Already updated.
I mean, I think I might have cleared all 3.
Well, so we can, at the end of each session, we can only clear 1 bond at a time.
Great. Then I know exactly which one I cleared.
Is an experience
That's
for
good,
that.
'cause
No
one just
worries.
kind of developed.
Okay. Slippy,
I also cleared a bond.
you cleared a bond? Let's start with Slippy's there.
I now trust Rake. I mean, I know what didn't sit right with me now, and it wasn't about him. It was actually about the actual captain.
Gotcha. Okay. Is that evolving into something with Marjorie?
I don't know if it's
We'll
a
see.
bond. We know we don't trust her.
We'll see.
Okay.
Mine was creation is a horrible, smelly flesh monster, but maybe they can be reasoned with. I should at least hear them out.
Did you just call him Kaola?
I did
you
call
were
him
combining
Kaola.
our
Yeah, I
names.
sure did.
I get Coca-Cola.
One of us. We're making you into an honorarily.
Okay. So you've heard out creation. How does that sit with you now, Cola? Creation has shifted my
mean-
worldview.
I
Yeah,
love him now.
Cola's got to figure some stuff out. Yeah, I mean, my worldview is definitely shifted, but that what that means for Cola is harder to say.
Carl.
So, bond I completed was I wasn't sure whether or not Cola knew the extent to which the Invasive Species Bureau was doing shit.
Uh-huh.
We now know that he basically wants to take down the government.
Wasn't. Yeah.
So I have written Cola Anarchism arc because one of my very first goals was to try to convince BBW to be an anarchist, and BBW was into it. So now I really want to get Cola on board with this being our government list.
You were always looking for
Uh,
something that the government was hiding. So this is
yeah.
good for your story.
Carl is
Yep.
like, I fucking knew it. I never had
Yeah.
a doubt. I just didn't have the brain power.
BBW, what about yourself? Any bonds that the robot crossed off?
Did not fill out any bonds. I'm looking for that new one. It feels like I could have one with creation.
Okay. What does BBW think about creation?
BBW sees how it's lonely and perhaps lost at some point. He wants to dig into that. He wants to learn more than he already knows about creation.
Okay, yeah. I like that as a third bond. That's a great third bond. Okay. Maybe what it sounds like is next time we come back and we have like a sit and talk amongst the crew, Marjorie and Rake, and see where everyone is at with all the information on the table. And then we can see if maybe a mission doesn't even need to be given out. Maybe it makes sense that the story pushes on its own. I don't know. I have ideas
Yeah,
for
we need
other
to
missions.
get all of the senior leadership. We need to get all the senior leadership on the ship together. You know, need to get the captain. Need to get us for some reason. We need to get creation. We need to get everybody at a table.
Well, we don't need to get creation in the room. Creation will just have to be the room.
room. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Creation
Yeah.
could be the
So
table.
I am now omnilingual.
Oh, you leveled up. You can speak all languages?
I can now speak with and understand any non-magical, non-planar creature. Previously, it was just animals.
Okay.
Now I can talk to anything I want.
And what stat did you choose to level up?
I haven't yet.
Okay. Slippy, you leveled up. What's your new skill?
Disguise master. Whenever I have time and materials, I can create a disguise that will fool anyone into thinking I'm another creature of about the same size and shape.
Okay.
My actions can give it away, but my appearance will not.
I like it. Cool. All right.
Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice Delta Dawn is DM'd by myself, M. Williams. The players this season are Lily Ayers playing Carl, Lawrence Jennings playing Tombleson S. Slippy, Dante Quiles playing Big Bud Wally, and Gabe Stringer now playing Agent Hyatt Cola. As a reminder, for the rest of this season, we will be doing weekly releases of the episode, so the next episode will be out September 15th. See you then.
Name
especially love,
10 Oddball players right now.
Bradley
Vince
Oz.
Vaughn.
Reroll a stout
Remember from
Morgan.
Oddball, a true underdog story.
Alan Cummings, the 56th.
I don't need 8 more. This is
Alan
perfect.
Cummings, what a good deep
Squinch
cut. I love that
Odge.
guy.
Ted hyphen from the
Squinch.
grocery store.
He wanted to keep his maiden name.
Perfect Oddball players.
Bill the Ball Ballerson.
He was not the ball.
And 4 more.
And 4 others. Perfect. That's it.
Four hyphen MORE. It's 4 robots played by 1 AI.
Yep. And then there's the other one that is 4 AIs played by 1 robot.
He's very strictly a minor league player.
He's super smart. They're very low level AIs.
Dumb.
All right, dipshit, over here. Over here.
What is ball?
Fuck.
This is a really good plan.
And 2 more.
How well would a stout war do here?
I'll spout it for 5 more hours if you want me to.
I don't. I don't. Nothing.
Welcome to the Delta Dawn Oj cast. Where all the players just talk about their favorite Oj players and the great Oj games of the
Wow, we found the spin-off
the age.
podcast. There it is.
Everything that we love to dip our
The
French dip
Oddball
into.
Minute.
The Oddball Minute. I have done a lot of work
I
to
assume
keep
you are the
my
only of your
flesh
case.
smelling incredible.
Oh,
Gross.
I moisturize
I use lavender
everywhere.
moisturizer.
Those little hands busy all day going throughout the ship.
You smell like shit, frog man. I
That's
smell.
why it smells like shit everywhere you go.
Oh no. It's my nostrils. It smells like shit in there.
The smell is coming from inside the nose.
What is it?